the big moment for me was getting hired to shoot time lapses for the pilot of Breaking Bad.
Ooh.
That is the, and then I ended up staying on that show through its entire run.
And how did you get that job?
Hell of a run.
The unit production manager for Breaking Bad called my old boss and basically asked, like, hey, Vince Gilligan, the creator, is like really into time-lapse photography. We can't seem to find anybody that specializes in that. Do you know anybody that does that? And he knew that I had been playing with it because I would show him everything I was working on and whatnot. And he recommended me. He gave me a call. He said, hey, I recommended you for this thing. Do you have a time-lapse reel you can send over? They want to see your stuff. They need somebody to shoot this thing. I was like, yeah, no problem. Did not have a time-lapse reel.
Yeah, of course, you always say yes.
Really only, and you know how when you start like working on something, the first 100 you do are shit, and then the next 100 a little better, and the next 100 a little better. Mm-hmm. I was in that second 100, right? But like only 5 in, so the other 95 were unusable, and that I was not proud of. So I spent the next 17 hours shooting new time lapses to put on a reel. I put the reel together, sent it over the next day. They emailed me back right away. Vince loves your stuff. We're going to fly you to Albuquerque for this pilot. And at the time, Breaking Bad was nothing.
Did you do, were these tripods or were they like slow pans?
No motion control yet.
Okay.
We didn't add motion control until season 4.
Oh, fun fact.
Yeah, fun fact. Which is another cool story. That was a big moment in my career as well. But back to I flew out, shot a bunch of stuff for the pilot. They used it. Series got picked up. The first few seasons, we didn't know if it was going to get renewed. It was still this show on AMC that like they had Mad Men at the time, but nobody cared about Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
Then Netflix, and then boom, the whole world found it, and it was the biggest deal in the world by the time we hit season 4.
After you did the pilot and you did the time lapse, they asked you to come on for all the seasons subsequent through its whole run.
Through its whole run, yeah. So I would do a couple trips a year, between a week and 2 weeks, gathering a list of assets they asked me to get.
On location?
Yeah, in Albuquerque.
And what was that content used for them in-house for promotional stuff?
No, they used it like in the show, they would use it as scene transition.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We did some stuff with the actors as well. Where they're driving out to the desert.
So like anything time-lapse in the show is you?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Which is every episode.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I want to say for
transitions
for the first few seasons, I had my business partner with me, Dom Zangi, who's an incredible shooter. He's a DP. He works with NFL Films a lot now. He's very, very talented. I knew him in high school as well. He was a year older than me. And he played a formative role in me developing every skill I have now. He's very talented.
Shout out.
Yeah.
How long does it take to make one time-lapse video?
That's a good question. It depends on the length of the event that you're trying to kind of show. So like if anytime I would do a scene transition where it's just clouds developing and moving, you could shoot that in as little as 10 minutes. If you're doing a sunset, it could be a few hours.
What has been the most difficult time lapse? The most challenging, whether it be unexpected stuff or like, damn, this shot's really complicated because this and this that you've had to encounter, at least on Breaking Bad.
The hardest ones are, a few times they wanted day to night to day. So we would be outside of Jesse's house and they want to show that the sunset, they've been inside all night, the sun comes back up. That's a huge latitude shift in exposure. And the lazy way to do it is you expose for the day, you expose for the middle, you expose for the morning, and then you kind of dissolve. But that just didn't work for me. I'm sort of a purist and I like it to be in camera as much as possible. So we online, I found this thing called the Bramper, which is a bulb ramper. So you put it in bulb mode, and then you can slowly ramp your exposure by extending the length of your exposure.
Cool.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So you can open up
according to how much light or time of day.
So you can get an extra Right. 7 stops of
So does it sense the amount of light, or does it just know what time it is?
No, you have to like.
Oh, it's
ride
manual?
it. Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. But it's manual to the extent that once you initiate the ramp, there's a set amount of time. So you say, I want 1.5 exposures over whatever. So I would do
Got it.
1 stop over 6 minutes during sunset, because that's the balance, right? So you would hold that magic hour in your image, and then it would dip down, and then I'd start to open up so you get the stars, and then speed it up, So you have some control, and it just, their algorithm helps ramp it so it doesn't cut.
You just don't have to sit there for 36 hours?
Oh, I do.
Oh,
yeah, you have to.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
And there's been a couple times. We had one, we were up in the Sandia Mountains. I was shooting across the valley. This gust of wind came, blew the whole thing off the side of the mountain. Gone. Dunzo.
How long had you been recording at that point? How far into the time lapse were you?
I was still setting up, luckily.
Okay, good.
But this is so funny. There's like a tram. It's pretty cool. It's fun. There's a little tram that takes about 20 minutes to get up to the top of the mountain. So my shit just blew off the mountain. It's like late at night. It's just me and the security guard, and it's like the saddest moment of my life. I lost my camera and my lens. I lost everything. I'm just so sad on a tram, which is just weird. Just thinking how I'm gonna explain to production that not only did I not get the shot, but
Lost all the gear.
And to their credit, I maybe they could see it in my face. Like I walked in the office and they were like, "Who died?" And I was like, "My camera." and they were immediately like, "Write down what you lost and give it to this person." So I walk it in. The next day, they had replacements for everything. No questions asked.
That AMC money.
wild.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
See how a set's supposed to be run.
Yeah. No, but so that was.
How often did you get to
Dramatic.
work with the cast? Or did you get to work with the cast?
Yeah, a few times. Yeah, a few times.
So you're all buddy-buddy now?
I wouldn't say that. I definitely.
I heard that Bryan Cranston is an asshole.
You're wrong. Somebody
No,
lied to
I'm
you.
just kidding. I'm totally just kidding. Come on,
He's
guys.
not- you know what's cool is that that show, that crew was so close, and it was such a family atmosphere. It was really inspiring to be around those people. It's not. I don't think it's a coincidence that it was such a success. I think it starts from the top. Vince Gilligan, nicest man in show business, obviously so talented, but everyone on that show, at every level, just top of the top. Super, super great people. But sometimes I wonder though, I dealt directly with the executive producers of the show and the directors of each episode. So when I would show up on set to talk about what I was doing or what I had to do next, I would just kind of walk right past everybody to the very important people, and you could see the crew who the fuck is that? They all thought I was an
PAs are
executive from AMC for a while, because they just walk past everybody, only talk to the director.
That's pretty funny.
No, I'm nobody. I'm
One of those days you should be you could have been make that joke and round it out about hey, can somebody give me a cup of coffee?